So today's my birthday and I wanted to celebrate by taking one of my favorite road trips around Chiang Mai. It's called the Samoeng Loop and it's about a 3-4 hour ride through the mountains, forests and small villages. But today it isn't really about the road. While we drive, I want to tell you a story of how I got here. Because 12 years ago, becoming a digital nomad wasn't even part of my plan. So first of all, I grew up in Tabasco, Mexico. Yes, like the sauce. It's the same conversation that I get every time I meet someone new. But fun fact, the Tabasco sauce is actually from the US. That's why once I was doing a road trip to the States and did a little detour, I went to the only Tabasco factory in the whole world just to take a picture and prove that this story is true. But anyway, back then the internet was still something new. I remember spending hours on the computer fascinated by the idea that you can suddenly connect with people all over the world. As a kid, I was always interested in technology, websites, and even art. So when it was time to choose a career, I actually ended up choosing architecture. And honestly, I don't regret it at all. Architecture taught me how to think creatively, design experiences, and solve problems. So even though I didn't become full-time architect, I learned so much. But the biggest turning point came during university when I had the chance to study in Torino, Italy. Originally I was gonna stay 6 months, but I extended it all the way to 1.5 years. And it was my first time outside of Mexico, so it completely changed the way I was thinking about life. I always say this is Sergio before and after that trip. And yeah, this is the Mae Sa Waterfall. It's so refreshing. Oh man. I mean, there's way more if you want to go up. I'm just gonna stop here because we gotta do more of the Samoeng Loop. So now I'm gonna eat something in this riverside that you can just sit down anywhere you want. This is such a local thing to do, to be honest. Yes, kapunka. Thank you, kapunka. Oh. So coming back from Italy, I knew one thing. I wanted to travel again. I just didn't know how to afford it. And after graduated, I actually opened an architect studio with a friend. And even though it didn't last long, it actually helped me do one main thing. I did the website from our architect studio. And after doing that website, I remember thinking, wait, this could actually be my new job. And by the way, Lana food or Northern Thai food, it's spicy. Like they like to put a lot of spices here. So yeah, building that website made me realize that I could actually do this professionally. And that's when everything clicked. I started learning more about web design. I got 1 client, 2 clients, more clients. And honestly, at the beginning, I wasn't doing this to become a digital nomad because I didn't even know what it was. I only wanted it to make money online. And with every new project, I realized I was getting something more valuable than money, just freedom. Freedom to choose what to do, when to work, and where to work. All right, I just finished the food. It was so good. And now it's time to drink the strawberry shake. But I still remember how scary it was to leave the traditional path, you know? While everybody was having stable jobs, being a freelancer definitely felt very uncertain. So there were times that I was thinking maybe I was doing the biggest mistake in my life. But every time that I thought about giving up, I remember the feeling when I was walking around the streets of Italy and that I knew I wanted something different in my life. So 12 years ago, I finally took the leap. Let's go to another place and tell you more. Alright, so we made it to the Samoeng Viewpoint. You can see the whole forest of Samoeng. This is like the middle point of the loop. I can show you a little bit. I'm gonna fly the drone to show you some of the shots. But anyway, back to my story. When I started freelancing and realizing this could actually work, I packed my bags and I flew to Lima, Peru. And this was my first time that I actually worked remotely while living abroad. And then I spent some time, you know, in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Then I visited New York City for the first time and went back to Europe. And every new destination, I started realizing this was becoming my normal. And then 2 years on the road already, I started to search for popular places to go as a remote worker. And one city was popping all the time, and that was Chiang Mai. And it was funny because I was never been to Asia before, I didn't know anything about Thailand, but I was interested, you know, in monks, in Buddhism, in the food over here. And I said, why not? Let's go. And that's how I ended up in Chiang Mai for the first time. And for the next years, I kept moving, building routines from scratch and slowly making the world into my home. And by now, I visited more than 45 countries and I lived in more than 42 cities. I say living, you know, when you stay more than 30 days in each place. So I can feel like I actually know a little bit more than the typical tourist. In all honesty, I stopped counting countries because it was never about checking places off the list. It was more about creating stories. Stories with the people that I met, with the business owners, all the conversations, all the people that I got to know when you stay longer in one place. That's what I definitely wanted to experience. So then what I realized is that I wasn't traveling to discover new places. I was actually traveling for community, which we're gonna talk about on the next stop. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to this place called Cypress Lane. The first time that I actually checked this place, because it has this view over here. One of the things that I like about Chiang Mai is that you can find random coffee shops out of nowhere, and they're all so nice. Look at this. Okay. So I ordered a dirty coffee and this chocolate roll. Man, look at this view. Okay, so one of the biggest surprises about becoming a digital nomad, it wasn't the travel, it was the community. Because to be honest, at the beginning I felt a little bit weird. Everybody else that I knew wanted a typical career or stability. But at the end, I started meeting other people like me who wanted, to build their own thing, to build businesses, to travel the world. So I started to feel that I wasn't the only one, and I was finally understood. So places like Chiang Mai became more than just an affordable place to live. It was the place where a lot of my friendships started. That's how I met Peter Lever from Nomad. That's how I met Tim, the one that I interviewed in one of my latest videos. And as I started traveling more, I get to know more digital nomad communities. And one of them was a huge highlight for me, and that was Nomad Cruise. I met them many years ago, and I took one of the cruises and I met so many friends there. I actually also made one of my first videos. Of course, this is not the only one. The other one that I've been a lot is like Bansko Nomad Fest. I'm trying to go every summer that I can because a lot of people gather there, like all of my friends are there. And the other one that is popping up for a while is Kolifuko. I've been doing this now for 3 years, probably 4 years, maybe every year. So that's how every trip introduced me to someone new friends that I will meet in the same place or somewhere around the world. And that's the beauty about this lifestyle, because then the world doesn't feel small, and also like you don't feel you're traveling alone anymore. And then COVID happened, and like everyone else, my plans completely stopped. At first it felt strange, but then I thought about it. It actually gave me some time to think, to be creative, and to realize what I wanted to do next. I was already making some YouTube videos as a test, but this time made me realize that I wanted to take it seriously. So for the very first time, I started my YouTube channel. But before we continue, let me introduce you to the White Temple. First time that I see it, I think it's actually new, like a few years ago. The real name is Loha Prasa Sri Muampong. Such weird names. So I started a series of living in different cities as digital nomad, where I spent at least a month there and try to tell you, how to move around, what is the best co-working in the coffee shops, what are things to do, like really make you feel as local as possible, depending on the time you were there. And I started with Latin American places. I went to Guatemala, Panama, Costa Rica, Sayulita, Mexico, which was one of the most successful one at the beginning. And then I did several in Mexico. Then I went to Europe. And finally, I came back to Thailand, where I did the living in Chiang Mai, Thailand as a digital nomad, which is one of the most viewed videos. And that's how a lot of people started following my channel, because then I created a brand where I was able to monetize through YouTube AdSense, brand deals, sponsorship, affiliate marketing, some products. So basically, YouTube became my full-time job. Look at these views, by the way, this is so beautiful. So the more I share my experiences, the more incredible people that I met. And that's how I was able, to speak in conferences, to be part of so many digital nomad projects, or be part of some communities. And yeah, like at the end, I just realized that the videos that I make, the whole idea is to inspire you to do the same as me, to make the whole world your home. So it's just really cool to have this YouTube channel, to be honest. And fast forward to today, I'm here. Like after all these years, I realized that I wasn't looking for a place to settle down. I was just looking for a home base. And this is exactly my new series in YouTube. Right now, I'm focusing just in Chiang Mai. I'm gonna spend the whole rest of the year here, so it's gonna be really cool. But we'll see if we do this home base series in other places around the world. I'm still a digital nomad. I'm just not gonna travel that often, but travel, it's in my heart. So yeah, this is how my story goes so far. Let's see how the whole home base phase goes for me. And this is the cool thing about the channel. There's a lot of things that I want to show you, and hopefully you stick along. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It's gonna help me create more videos for you. But now, yeah, I'm gonna finish the Samoeng loop. The city's just in front. So here we are, another birthday, and tonight I'm gonna celebrate here in Olco Living. My friend John was kind enough to lend me the space to have a barbecue with my friends. But it's interesting because these friends, it's people that I wouldn't know if I followed the original path, right? That's why I wouldn't change a thing. Anyway, now let's go celebrate. Shayna, how do you know that I love pizza so much?
Oh, I don't know.
Pizza cake?
It is just an innocent beer from Samoeng Viewpoint. Happy birthday! Cheers!
Hey, you're a lifesaver. Thank you.
I did it.
Happy birthday!